Welcome back to another episode of Adventures of Marr. We are the usual suspects, and last time on this show, brutal murder of some traveling wizards and ritual sacrifice at the end in a totally not hypocritical fashion.
There was nothing hypocritical about that, I'll have you know.
Everything hypocritical.
It was purely partisan, not hypocritical at all.
One of these days I need to get a dog door. Anyhow, the party is moving underneath the foothills of the mountain. In the morning, you find that the path is steep and the brushland has turned into more rocky terrain. You get up into the mountain pass. Very few of you in your party have likely adventured up into the mountains before. I don't know how familiar Sid is. For most of the mountains are held by dwarves in whatever region, and the best you can get is finding mines built into the foothill regions to share with your friends at the hand.
Are they good mines, or am I not prospecting, just finding caves?
I'm speaking in general of what Sid has done in the past, finding mines and caves in the shadows of mountains and whatnot. Because normally in the desert, if there's a hole in the ground, it's probably not the best place to mine. But there have been some areas.
So yes, we're in the mountains. Nobody knows what the mountains is like except for Sid.
Probably, yes.
In theory.
In theory, yes.
The mountains are steep and tall.
And going up this specific mountain path, you find a gateway between two steep rocky terraces. It is built of great stone brickwork, and it is decorated by solemn statues of axe-wielding dwarven figures. This seems to be some form of a checkpoint gate that keeps out invading forces from the mountains. The gate itself looks to be a portcullis, but at the current moment it is raised. Underneath is a dwarven figure wearing a steel breastplate and helm. The helm is fully closed, but you can still see the beard underneath it.
So, should we approach?
Guess roll perception to see if anybody's around, since it's supposed to be a checkpoint.
You mean aside from the
Probably a
dwarf?
good idea. I'm waiting for a second dwarf to pop out, and one only tells the truth and the other only lies.
I mean, I would just look around before I just started shouting something in Dwarvish about how, your mother is a weakling. Your father must be a cuckold.
Is that how dwarves commonly greet each other?
It's supposedly so.
Well, it's more like, oh, I'm gonna if if I say hello, you might hide or something. But if I insult you, you might say, "Fuck this motherfucker,"
Up ahead, you see that dwarf, and you see no other persons in hiding. But while there's nobody in hiding, there's a decent chance there would be more people within this lone gatehouse. Probably a couple other dwarven guards dressed the same in the region.
Well, we have them pass through, don't we?
I mean, yeah.
I suppose we shall head onwards. Greet the dwarf.
Well, I guess it'll approach and do the standard dwarven greeting, hail, so and so, such and such.
I mean,
Heading up the mountains. You got any problem with that?
I like you being in character about this, but in any case,
In Dwarvish, though, I'm not gonna say it in common because fuck the humans.
the dwarf, on seeing you and your approach, says, "Hail, wanderers! Are you going to Korinne's Keep this day?" Many a tall folk have been wandering this path of late to Korinne's Keep.
Any humans heading this way, you say?
Humans heading to and fro. Aye.
More than usual?
They be the past 10, 20 years they be settlers, but there were a bunch that wandered down the path for the first time in a month or so.
Well, how weird. We never ran into anyone on the path here.
Not a single person.
Not a single human being.
The dwarf looks to the human and two elfkin in the party and says, "And you lot, I don't take you for settlers of some kind. What business have you in our mountains?"
Just looking for some friends of ours. You know, the type that worship strange gods.
If you'd be looking for friends, you'll find them. But if you'd be looking for trouble, you got an axe or two to contend with.
We mean to cause no trouble.
I want to bluff.
All right.
That is a pure lie. You're lucky the dwarf didn't roll high.
I'm lucky I rolled high.
Yes, you are, Mr. Untrained Bluff. He says, Go right along the path. The way is winding and it splits in two, but take the western way and that will send you to Korinne's Keep. Either route you go down takes you to the logging village and more of the settlers within the mountain.
Well, thank you for your help.
All right.
Yeah, I guess just, so long, son of so and so, if we're being that familiar.
There's no point
You're
in
not asking
antagonizing.
for a dwarven flask or something.
No, not yet. I don't know him.
Listen, I don't know what a dwarven flask is, but you should probably wait until marriage.
All right, so you travel along deep.
I was hoping he would be xenophobic, but he's not going to be. He seems like the type that doesn't have a problem with humans coming and settling up in the mountains. So I'm not going to open my mouth and, be called dwarf Nazi or something.
You didn't find a fellow anti-tall person?
No, he might be married to one or something degenerate,
The lady doth protest too much.
Look, you can't just run around calling everybody you see a long leg, okay? There, otherwise people might start thinking you're funny. You have to make sure they're okay before you start whipping out those jokes around the water cooler.
You have water cooler in the Legions of
Okay,
Death.
the beer keg.
I believe they were called wells.
The fermented grain juice, yes. We'll choose that one instead.
I'm sure dwarves drink grog or something.
You head up in the mountain pass until you reach a fork in the path that you were told of. The fork leads left and right, and there is a well-dusted trail that leads in down either path.
Is there a signpost?
There is indeed a helpful sign, something like an obelisk built of stone, but the size of a normal human. There are outcroppings on the stone, one leading to the left, one leading to the right. The left says Korinne's Keep, and the right says High Pass.
Well, I think we're headed to High Pass if we're going after the priests.
One would think. Can I roll a survival to try to find out what kind of traffic is going each way?
Yes, you may.
The priest told us that the name of the place where the cultists meet is called High Pass Keep.
Yes.
So we probably want
to
to proceed towards the path that leads up further into the mountains.
I concur. I was just thinking you might see something like, based on the spacing of footprints, the kind of wear on the road, where the carts are going, recent passage.
Right. Okay, so you find that, according to your wishes, there's much more commercial traffic heading in the direction of High Pass. For short of giants, the mountain pass seems to be much safer for the average person than going through the desert for trade. Albeit going through the mountains means that the travel time takes longer. Your beast of burden will have to work up sloped roads that are barely maintained to help wagons travel upon them.
And you have to pay the toll.
Have to pay the toll to dwarves, yes. So most dwarf-friendly merchants would be heading up in this direction to a settlement called High Pass. Korinne's Keep, though, is likely a quasi-military settlement that is maintaining High Pass. As you see that there's actually quite a bit of foot traffic heading in the direction of Korinne's Keep. And among the foot traffic, you can tell by the less heavy footsteps that there's been humans that have traveled through here in the past week.
Could we notice 8 distinct footprints just going down the opposite direction, perchance?
They're not barefoot. They're all wearing shoes of some kind, so you can only tell by the impressions.
Well, in any case, where does our expert survivalist think we should go?
Probably up to High Pass, I would think. If they were going up to Kern's Keep, they're probably going to draw more attention, less traffic. I imagine they're trying to lay low because the dwarves wouldn't want sketchy humans around, I would think, doing weird religious shit versus, trying to blend in with the humans, go into the logging village.
Then we should probably do the same. Well, only one way to find out. Let's take the road.
All right. So you head on the right path. It heads east, and through the eastward pass, you soon find yourself at a crag-filled location. The part of the mountain gives way into a small ravine on one side where water just fills up a basin built into the mountain. There's a bridge built of wood that allows you to travel over this water, and up ahead you see smoke columns from chimneys. You can assume up ahead is that village that you heard of. Continuing down that path, you come across a small clearing in the mountain where rock is nearly all around you. There's open sky up above, but barely any peeks out in the noontime sun. Here you see an inviting looking 2-story inn standing on a wooden platform overlooking what seems to be another in-mountain lake. There are about 2 to 3 other smaller buildings also in this clearing. Looks like individual residences or artisan shops of some kind. And you see up ahead that there's like wood left off to one side for the construction of other buildings of similar kinds. The two-story building has a hanging sign of a bed, and there's the text underneath High Pass Inn.
Just what I was about to look for.
Do you go into this place, or what are you investigating?
Yes, yes. Let's head to the inn.
Okay. So inside, you'll see a building made of cobbled stone walls with wooden flooring, the likes that you would probably never see in Freeport outside of the Northern District. Here you see a common room filled with animal trophies adorning the walls, and dwarves aplenty roaming here and there, drinking at tables, and a dwarf holding the counter that some adventuring types look to be supping from. There does seem to be quite a few humans among the dwarven numbers. They seem to be intermingling and conversing merrily.
Let's inquire about lodging for tonight.
All right,
Although considering the patron is dwarven, I think Korinne's the best one to handle this.
Going up to the innkeep, you mean?
Yep.
Yes. I mean, he's a dwarf. You're a dwarf. It works out.
I guess I'll go up to him in Dwarvish, because I'm ignoring the humans still. You know, hail, good sir. How are you? Everything going good?
Ah, you're an odd one. Speak formally for a brief, and then you talk all nice and rural like. Only Borgdur I know speaks that way. Where are you from, and what can I do you for?
You just come up here from Marr. Was wondering if you would get some rooms for the night, and if you seen any weird long legs wandering around.
Always a weird long leg about. Been like that for months. Families moving up from the dry places to enjoy some time in our little surface holds here.
Seen any weird reclusive ones that wear robes and mutter to themselves about weird human god?
Ah, wizards. I seen quite a few of them at Korinne's Keep. Not far from here. Rarely do they ever leave that place, except on days when well, I don't know which days, in fact. Someone told me about them, but I can't bleed and remember. They leave on like one of the middle days of the month. I can't remember what the relevance is. It has something to do with stars or some Imperium rubbish. And he says before spitting into a mug and then wiping it down.
What would the knowledge roll to guess what he's talking about be? Would it be religion or?
Well, first you'd have to pass the linguistics.
Oh, but of course, I am trained in linguistics.
Do you speak Dwarven?
Does Undercommon count as Dwarven?
No,
Or is it a separate thing?
it's a
Then I
separate
do
thing.
Well, then I'll just ask him how much for some rooms, good sir, and pay him. I'll pay him whatever it is, just a little bit of extra on the side for some favor money, and then we can go over to a table, and I would tell him what he tell the rest of the party what he told me.
He says a couple of silver a night for your elven friends, silver a night for you and the human.
Seems fair to me. I'll hand him 10 silver.
I don't even understand this, so I can't be racist against him. Can't even correct him that I'm only half elf.
Thank you kindly. Would you like some dark bitters while you're here for the night? Or would you rather have some warm stew?
It would be nice, thank you.
Coming right up. My wife Magnuson will help you with that.
Never turn down a good stew, Ma always said.
Ma's always right about something, eh? He says before moving on to someone else that's asking for his attention at the counter, and says before fully turning away. Oh yes, you lot have the second and third rooms on the upper stair.
Thank you once again, good sir, and keep.
Call me Barden. He says before he goes to address another customer. After sitting down for a bit, a dwarven woman by the fact that you can tell that her beard has been freshly plucked every morning, approaches and serves a bowl of what seems to be a beef stew to Sid. And
I will nod and say thank you very much.
alright.
Your generosity is unmatched. Or something,
Yeah.
excessively nice.
Anytime it's on the house, the dwarven lass says before walking away.
What would I roll to know if it's a dwarven lass?
Well, the fact that there's no beard.
Dwarf women don't have beards?
Well, no, she plucked her beard, so it's
I see.
easier for people to tell them apart.
It's what you have to do when you were around humans all the time, otherwise they get confused.
Holding yourself to unrealistic human beauty standards.
But she works in the public. She has to serve humans, so you do what you got to do. It's like when you wear the tight top when you're the greeter at a restaurant.
Also,
suppose it makes sense.
Sid doesn't have to roll bluff for that because it's being nice to dwarves. Because Sid's just that racist.
So anyway, when she wanders off, I'll basically be like, all right, well, he says there's all sorts of humans going through, mostly settlers. He doesn't have an eye to pick out the weird ones, but he says there's some mages up in Kern's Keep. They're always leaving for some Astra Imperium nonsense on regular intervals.
Did he say when these intervals occur?
He wasn't sure, but it had something to do with the alignment of the stars.
Huh. Any ideas, Caster?
No.
You're an Imperiite.
And
I'm sure you know your own goddamn religion.
not that well, actually.
He's a soldier.
He's just
by
a
trade,
cultural
not a scion.
imperiite.
Well, I guess we can't exactly ambush them when they leave next time. Although, waiting here for an entire month might be a bit excessive.
While we're sitting in the tavern, Scoggin would like to eavesdrop and see if she can hear anything from the other patrons that sounds related to the cultists or Kern's Keep.
Okay. You do hear some chatter about Kern's Keep. A lot of the people are mainly talking about their days, their complaints about living in the mountains, how slow work has been. But you do hear the inkling about Kern's Keep, about how the tunnels have collapsed underneath, and something about goblins. There's a lot of noise, so you can't really tell specifics, but something about the mountain warden, Kern, just calling the dwarves there to just watch over the situation, not really to go in or fix it. Talk about cultists is low, but you do you hear something about some strange folk coming into Kern's Keep the other day. Some pointy-eared bent from a dwarven table.
I wouldn't hear that, would I? Or because unless Scoggin speaks Dwarven, or unless she speaks enough Dwarven to know they said Elven cunt or something. Gotta know the
She's
curse words in all
probably been
languages.
hanging around Sid long enough to pick up the the slurs.
Yeah.
You don't even need a linguistics checks for the slurs anymore.
I'm gonna say yes for that one.
Scoggin will whisper over to Sid. I think over at that table, they're either a strange elf has been through recently towards Kern's Keep, or they're talking about me.
Do I need to roll something to listen, or can the assist on Scoggin be good enough?
Roll perception, and it'll be aided by Scoggin pointing you in the direction of the conversation. Okay, yeah, you definitely hear something to the effect. The trailing on about the conversation about strange folk at Kern's Keep. The conversation dwells upon that topic only very briefly, but then someone picks it up about how they ever allow more than one elf to be in such a great dwarven place is a travesty beyond all honor and such on and so forth.
Well, apparently they're saying something. There's some elven sorceress bitch up there that's been going up to Kern's Keep. And apparently there's more than one because they're not happy about it.
Would they be happy about it if it was just one?
The dwarves, what do you think?
I figured not, but
Then you might be correct.
Probably not happy about it, but tolerable of it because you got to have diplomats.
Yeah, and they know that.
You need at least one for the zoo, okay?
Yeah, but they also know that if you have 2 elves, they can produce more elves, and that's not okay.
Did they happen to say anything about what color the skin those elves had?
I would think that would be self-explanatory since they barely tolerate the normal ones, much less the dark ones. Or is this a different continuity of dwarf?
Oh no, they tolerate the dark ones marginally less than the highborn ones, but
I'm not sure how both of them live underground.
easily.
You'd think they'd value the underground ones more, but you know.
Well, I think the relationship is damaged greatly by the fact that the elves underground enslaved dwarves and
Well, that and
other
that we're
people.
competing for resources and territory, whereas the high elves are just kind of
cunts.
frou-frou forest fairy, assholes.
I suppose.
No, the
In any case, that
God,
leaves the
that's okay.
question of how we're going to handle the keep.
Is there anyone in this inn that looks like a fighter of some sort?
no, you got yourself, Sid, other people. Okay. There is a human in the corner wearing all what seems to be mostly chainmail armor and leather jerkin over it. He's talking with a dwarf or two in his corner. He seems to be a fighter of some kind.
Master must do the ritual of all fighters when they meet one another.
They must
No.
now engage.
I was
They must now engage in brutal combat to see who is the dominant fighter.
no, I was wondering if there's anyone here that would have any information on the defenses of the thing, and people with fighting experience are more likely to have it. So we could listen in on his conversation to see if he actually knows anything useful.
Well, I doubt he'd be discussing the specifics of fortress defense in regular
I mean,
conversation.
that we would have to ask him later, yes.
But yeah, I'm just gonna say no. They're not talking about that in particular. I mean, you can always go up to some of these people and prompt them for a conversation, inquire further.
Listen, we're antisocial.
Apologize
materials.
for rudeness.
We can't-
Yes, I know that you and your reality are autists, but
Listen,
you're-
we're
you're-
antisocial murder hobos. You can't expect that much of us.
yeah, you guys are murder hobos. Except for Erazem, where he's a settled murderer.
Well, come on, I have a settlement too.
To be fair, I am not a murder hobo. I am an independent contractor.
I kill for pay. Thank you very much.
Well,
Murder
killing is
hobo.
incidental. I clear the cave.
Yeah.
If there's something
Oh.
in it, then yeah.
Read as hobo for hire.
And
We'll
technically
call it-
not even
we'll-
hobo for hire. Hobo wandering until find reason not to wander.
We'll cause cave in for food. Anyway, so you guys are gonna be antisocial and just watch as Sid enjoys dwarven stew.
Well, I can hardly enjoy dwarven stew. I wasn't brought any.
The same. Scoggin would order food if the service was better here.
Probably finish eating the stew and then go with great difficulty and social awkwardness try to interact with the table of dwarves if they look like they're gambling or something. Do some small blind.
Okay.
Pass
so,
time.
Go gamble with some dwarves, pass the time. I know you probably don't have this skill, but profession gambling. You can just roll wisdom.
Scoggin has it. If she-
Well, that's the idea is to start gambling and then casually drop, that one over there gambles, but you don't want to play with an elf. And then they'll be like, oh no, we really want to take the elf's money, and
I got it pinned down. Probably.
So you each roll for profession.
Yeah. Well, if you don't have any train, you can just roll wisdom. You're less than middling gambler at your craft. You're able to barely hold on the coppers that you spend just prepping this game with fellow dwarves. There's a man with a dwarf with a golden beard that laughs boisterously as he just piles up the coppers that he's earned over this tile game that you guys are playing. It'd be
I'll
something.
throw something in there like the elf makes it look so easy.
Elves make nothing easy. They
But then
Yeah,
again, she
magical
mostly plays
cheese.
human, so that would explain that.
Wow, fuck you twice.
Elves aren't made of the stern stuff, and only rare humans get to be as good as we. I'm guessing your elf friend is an easy mark then. Very proud and prideful of her ways.
Friend is a strong word. But to say that she carries around a good bit of coin and enjoys gambling wouldn't be far off the mark. Allegedly, she used to be a professional gambler, but that just could be a euphemism for whoring for all I know.
Well, you're free to invite your what's a less distasteful word, acquaintance over to enjoy some tiles.
I'll probably turn over and be like, hey, in common, hey, Scoggin, you want to lose money?
Lose money.
Yes, and I don't mean have sex with dwarves.
Skagen just kind of has a look of disgust on her face at that suggestion.
Which suggestion, the losing money or the dwarf?
Of having sex with dwarves.
The fact that she would be the one paying for the sex.
Yeah, Skagen will have you know she charges high rates for dwarves.
The height and her rate.
Skagen is a good girl saving herself for Jeb.
Jeb doesn't exist.
Listen.
But-
The height of the person and the amount she charges are inversely proportional.
Check.
The real question, does she want to gamble with the dwarf, though?
Sure.
Alright. So, Skagen moves over to the table and begins playing with the dwarves.
The first round, she will intentionally lose to lull them into a false sense of confidence.
Can you roll bluff?
Well, I think that would be covered by profession gambler because
Okay.
I would think
That's-
profession gambling would be the intentional loss, that you didn't mean to do it would be bluff.
Yeah. So you can roll profession gambler and then bluff to see how well you can sell it. Okay, so you're of great competence in this game, and you don't even need to throw this match because there's a black bearded dwarf sitting beside you. His beard braided into two separate braids that really wins the pile and competes best at this game. Despite the more braggart golden-haired dwarf. Taking that immediate loss in stride, the golden-haired dwarf says, it seems like your friend isn't that much of a gambler then. Well, it's my first time seeing you folks appear in Hyde Pass. What are you doing in this town?
Oh, we were south of the mountains hunting orcs, and came up here to take a respite from our battles. It's my first time playing this game. It's quite complicated.
Okay, so you expertly pass yourself off as a noob. Don't know nothing. He says, of course, it is a game of dwarven make, and only proper dwarves really play it. The game of tiles is one of strategy and counting, and we're not sure that dwarves or elves are capable of that.
I'm gonna bite off an insult about they can count dicks.
Yes, well, many
sexual partners or
races
something.
are acquainted with dwarves' inventive ways when it comes to counting money.
Roll for anti-Semitism.
The golden beard laughs, and so I take it you've been killing a lot of the savage orcs down south. Me and mine don't travel south of the mountain that often. Got friends and family that talk to those of GRNS in the northwest, but it seems like orcish troubles there aren't much lesser than here.
Yes, the orcs have been causing some trouble in Marr of late.
So as the conversation lulls, you move into a new stage of the game. Go ahead and roll a profession gambler for Jesus. Okay, so you stretch out this next match of the game, and you steadily win the whole pile that was built up for that round, earning a net of 12 copper. The black-haired dwarf says, interesting. There's a non-dwarf that can play the game of tiles. And he says in Dwarven, where'd you find this one, shield sister?
I've been chaperoning them around, keeping them from hitting their head on the ceiling too much. Around the Adventurers Guild. Back in Marr, had some trouble with some, whatever the epithet is for dark elves. With some gamer elves.
You're an
Been
adventurer.
hanging out, been following. I've been keeping them out of trouble ever since.
You're an adventurer. My third cousin's an adventurer. He brings much honor, doing much of what you are doing, in fact. Though he is down in the Underholds, fighting the cursed dark pointy ears.
Well, the rate they reproduce, we need or something to the effect of we need all the help we can get getting rid of them. They're not going to do us a favor and kill themselves.
I agree, but that goes the same for those surface ones sometimes.
I'm just going to laugh and drink.
Yep.
I hear distinct John-like laughter across the room.
Actually, I'll hit back about some, casual, like they got weird gods and stuff too.
Oh, there's a bunch of weird gods about these days. The strange ones are the ones that are wizards that worship gods and stuff like that. Have you seen those type wandering about? Well, I guess you've met an Imperium, like you're traveling with one, of course.
He's got a rocky history with his kinfolk. I don't really know the whole of it, but all I know is they don't get along.
They're barely tolerable when they're not trying to wipe us out. They got their what did they call it? Some commander of a Western Front, Lord Sturm. Oh, he's a terrible sort. He's been really harassing those in the northern Great Mountains. It's quite awful what he and his army have been doing.
Haven't been making any progress, have they?
I don't know much. Heard that they have taken a couple of the surface holds in the mountain. They haven't gone down below. Fucking coward humans. Probably trying to flood us out with water or smoke us out or something to that effect. That Sturm man is real clever. Don't like him when they're clever.
So Skagen winning more money yet?
Alright, roll another gambling check.
Guess I should roll one since I'm technically playing this game too.
Yep.
I don't understand how I'm rolling such shit wisdom.
It's just the dice. This time the golden beard wins the money submitted to the pile over the course of gambles, looking enjoyably smug at his winnings that pile up. Then he asks, "You're here to convalesce from dealing with those savage orc types, right? You're not some settler coming in to enjoy the hospitality of Korinne's Keep."
No, it wasn't the plan.
See, I know most of the adventuring types, they go there instead of going up on all the way to High Pass. Because down at Korinne's Keep, they feel like they can get easy money killing goblins and whatnot that have come through the collapsed tunnels to the holds. And fair enough for them, they do help out the problem, but the warden, he doesn't want to cause no trouble for the guards he hired and trained to go chasing down some rock pickers. I don't know what the feck those goblins call themselves.
Snotlings.
Nah, they're not. They're strange, lanky-looking goblin types, and they have like some clan name for themselves. They shout when they do their attacks. Heard they stopped attacking though. Maybe hobgoblins. Hard to tell what they are, right? I just know that there's the little ones with the big heads, and sometimes there's the ones that look almost tree folk like, got those big logger builds like those humans got.
We hadn't planned to do any fighting, but if it's easy money, as you say, perhaps we should head down there and hunt a few goblins.
I don't know how much the warden is paying for the trouble, but I guess it does no difficult. It doesn't hurt to ask now, does it?
Indeed.
And then the Blackbeard one speaks up. You know, I heard you, Shield Sister, talking about strange humans with the innkeep earlier.
Seen any that stick out?
Well, humans always stick out around the dwarven holds, but around Korinne's Keep, there have been those robe types, wizards of sort, I believe. A lot of us thought them to be adventurers, but they seem to have gotten along well with the warden, and they were allowed to take residence on the upper floors as they resettled. Hell, a lot of our men here are paying for building them a settlement up closer to High Pass. And stranger still, they got some elven witch with them now. Pardons the present company, of course.
She's not one of the nigger elves, is she? Scoggin asks.
Thank you for that word usage.
I'm sorry, I forgot you were streaming this.
Yes.
She ain't one of the moon cricket elves, is she?
She appears to be one of the shorter-eared elf types. Hard to tell them and the humans apart.
You mean a half-breed like my friend over there? And she points at Varian.
Yeah, he says, an elf is an elf and is an elf. Shame the humans dirty themselves with such nonsense, but more's the pity, he says, taking a drink. Anyway, I know she's...
I like the cut of this guy's jib. He's just willing to be openly racist to an elf.
But not in the genocidal sense. He says that the way I could tell that she's a witch or something is that all the human folk around her seem quite quite taken. I believe the air around her always smells of some kind of flower. I don't know what that's about, but just the air itself feels strange, you know? And aside from those wizards, I don't know any other magic types around these parts.
Does Varian hear this conversation?
I assume you're close enough to listen in on the table.
I would be, I suppose. I'm in the same inn, at the very least.
Yeah, just sitting at a table, staring silently at Caster. Not getting food, just avoiding all attention and conversation with others.
As men do. Would I know enough to attempt to identify her casting tradition just from knowing that she's witch marked?
Not necessarily, no.
That's a shame. Well, back to conversation, I guess.
But at least you know she's witch marked. Alright, so the chit chat continues over the game of gambling. Why would
Sure, roll another
yeah,
gambling
sure,
check?
one last check. All right.
I'm just picturing Varian and Castro over there sharing memes.
Make no assumptions, Erazem. You have to say things aloud. Yeah. So the black-haired dwarf draws you in with an innocent conversation, distracting most people while playing the game, and he wins. He wins the big pile at the very end. Throwing up his hands in the air and cheering, saying, "I got you, you golden-haired son of a bitch! Finally got my earnings back."
How much does Skagen lose?
Skagen nets 4 copper from this, from the entire game.
Cue hand rub.
All of this over 4 fucking copper.
Yeah, they're miners. They're not trading in silver. Silver's for booze. They're doing it for fun, not money.
Skagen appears to be doing it for neither.
Well played, Blackbeard.
Please, father's name is Blackbeard. Call me Rourke Blackbeard.
It's a nice
Very well.
touch. Serves my father.
Well, you fellas have a good night. I'm content with my winnings, going home to be with my missus. Guess she'll be happy for once that I won something at these tables. He says, rising from his seat.
Good luck with that.
The golden beard one grumbles a little, staring at the empty pile before getting up from the table quietly and following Rourke into town. All right, so was there anything else the party wanted to do, Caster?
Yeah, while they were off gambling, I just wanted to see if Castor knows anything more about the guy just from looking at him. The guy in armor.
Knowledge local? Jesus.
I wasn't even a fucking 20.
I didn't know you had your knowledge local trained that much.
Well, now you do.
The soldier always knows his enemy.
Alright, so staring this guy down uncomfortably at your table in the bar, you're thinking it back about all the names and faces of warriors you've seen in the past, and people by reputation. The guy before you barely makes the list. You've read some things about adventurers in your spare time, likely looking for a way to escape the grasp of the Astra Imperium. Probably trying to find someone to smuggle you out. The man there is a ranger by trade for the Adventurers Guild. would be known as, well, you only can remember the name Crom.
I'll go up to his table and introduce myself as Pollock.
As what?
Pollock.
I think Castor and Pollux.
Yeah.
Yeah. The man looks up from his conversation with the doors. He says, "And how may I help you, Mr. Pollux?"
I think I'm familiar with you. You're a ranger of some kind, yes?
He leans back in his chair. Yes. Crom Deepwood at your service. How may be of help?
Well, see, there's this keep here in these passes that I was wondering about. Do you know anything about it?
Kern's Keep. It's run by an old dwarven general, Magnus Kern. It's been in this mountain for quite a few years. I really don't concern myself with the matters of the keep often. I normally wander into the wilds and come back for every 2 days of drink.
I was wondering about the other keep high in the pass. There's some cultists about. Have you heard of that?
Another keep in High Pass? There may be the gateway to the Underholds, I know. Possibly the High Peak Fort. I don't know who holds it now, so it might be under a different name at this time. But that one's a good 100 miles up the path. And that place is one of the refuges for travelers and traders before going into Diarnes.
I think I'm mistaking a few things. What's the keep where the cultists are called? I'm forgetting things.
To my memory, it was that what's his face? Oh, why am I forgetting his name? Melchior said that these guys were that they traded in High Pass.
Well, we were told by the guy that we captured and interrogated that the place the cultists hung out is High Pass Keep.
Right.
So that just may be what they call Kern's Keep, or there may be some other.
Or Kern's Keep is or is High Keep itself. Or High Pass Keep.
Okay, so would I realize that there's a mix-up of names or something? Because essentially
yes.
what I want from him is to see if he knows any weaknesses of the keep or something like that. Some information that might help us approach it more carefully.
Got a way of voicing that?
I mean, I asked him about all the keeps he knows. I'm not sure what to ask him exactly, because the names.
Well, you can try and translate what you've said before into roleplay speak. Or don't.
I don't really know how.
Alright, no worries. So what more do you want from him?
Ask him about the tunnels that
Oh yeah, that thing.
are under the keep that the goblins have. If he knows anything about that.
Yeah, the thing is, did I learn about that, or was that just at your table, the gambling?
I think
Korinne's character knows that, and the gambling table talked about it.
Yeah, so Castor wouldn't know about that, so he would just excuse himself and leave, not having any further questions yet.
Okay.
Well, that was sufficiently awkward.
Yeah.
He just silently returns to where Varian is sitting. Varian hungry, but because he saw Sid eat some nice stew and went to get drinks, but doesn't know how to ask an innkeep for food or beverage.
I have 2 free language slots. I should eventually get around to filling.
I would think the innkeep would know Common.
I do believe they know Common. It's just they spoke Dwarven to someone that spoke Dwarven to them.
But you see, I don't know that he knows Common.
I mean, true, but it's a pretty good inference. He's running a keep or an inn with humans and dwarves around, so.
Virgin half elf doesn't want to speak if people possibly don't know the language.
Billy Baka or Baka or whatever you say. Shy anime NPC.
Oh God.
Just gotta embody tomboyism, right? You gotta be out there, energetic and boisterous.
Well, that's not Varian's character, unfortunately. Unfortunately for Varian.
Why do you people decide to play autists?
It's what we're best at.
Decide.
You should be evangelizing for John.
Exactly.
Listen, last time I evangelized for John, someone ended up as a corpse.
Yeah, stabbed 37 times in the chest.
Technically, you weren't evangelizing to him. You were just asking John for help. So.
Well, I mean, what's evangelizing but asking God for help?
Look, those 37 stab wounds to the chest were self-inflicted. He had information leading to the arrest of it.
The Lord Mayor, yeah.
Do not call the Lord Mayor Hillary Clinton.
The stab. Major religions don't want you to know this, but stab wounds are free. John has given out 37 free stab wounds.
Human sacrifice is free. All you need is a heart.
Have a heart, will you?
Yeah. Alright, so everyone returns back to their table, and it's about time for enjoying some rest after a long day of traveling upon the road. No longer having the sleep in the desert winds, you can now enjoy the high altitude coolness of the high pass inn. Let's move on to the next day. So it's morning, and there are very few people, dwarves, human or otherwise, milling about in the common area of the inn. It seems like most of the I don't know if I can call this town. Most of the settlers here have gone for their morning work. Even Kron the ranger.
The fuck does a ranger do? He's literally paid to be homeless.
He ranges.
I mean, they basically run around in the woods and make sure everything's okay. Or not even in the woods, really, just in the more rural areas.
He runs around in the wild, makes sure that there's nothing special with the beasts going on.
As we've learned, we can at least get into the keep by pretending to be adventurers looking for work.
Okay, here's the plan. We're going to split the party, and 2 of us are going to go to High Keep, Pass, and the 100 miles away, and 2 of us are going to go to the other keep, Kern's Keep.
High Peak, yes.
I don't like the idea of splitting the party, but
I was being a smartass. I wasn't actually suggesting that.
I think
Sid says, all right, the 2 of you elves, you go off into the mountains somewhere. Cassie and I will deal with this at Curse.
It's kind of sad, but Sid and Castor would have less of a chance of surviving.
It's really sad because Sid has no friends since Varian's half elf. Scoggins an elf, and Castor's Imperium, so there are no friends for the dwarves here. The closest is Varian because he's the closest thing.
He's the closest thing to human.
Varian attempts to be friendly, but
But he also worships a guy that will stab someone in the chest 37 times. So it's awesome.
Listen, I have yet to stab Sid once, let alone 37 times.
Today, yeah.
In fact, I have unstabbed Sid several times. I'm in the negative stabs at this point.
Thank you for your unstabbing, good sir.
In any case, let's check out the keep.
Yeah, I think that's the best plan, is to go down to Kern's Keep and pass ourselves off as adventurers seeking work.
We'd hardly need to pass ourselves off. We are adventurers.
And you're most of the time seeking work.
Even when we're on work, we're still seeking work.
Alright, so you travel back southwards, crossing over that wooden bridge, and you find that there's a second path that goes up into the mountain a bit, aside from the path that you came upon, that you traveled upon to get to here specifically. Looking at the sign, it says that this is another way to Kern's Keep. You can travel down this way for about 30 minutes, and you come across a great stone fortification built into the side of a mountain, as well as an outer gate built into much of the same the same wedging of the mountain. Shape. Let's do freehand.
I suggest we put on like cloaks or something to um, kind of disguise our appearance as best we can in case those people that got away made it back here.
All right, up ahead. After moving through the walled gateway, there's a rocky clearing area built kind of like a courtyard. And up ahead is a set of iron-bound wooden doors with two guards of the dwarven variety, dressed in a similar arms and armor as the ones at the checkpoint gate into the mountain pass. The two guards with their closed face helms simply look in your directions as you come into the courtyard.
Walk up to him, say, "Greetings, good sirs, brothers, whatever. Heard you had a pest control problem."
One guard looks at another and then looks back at Sid. Pest control. Ah, yes. The rock picker goblins. Or what were they called again? The other dwarf answers. Rockpick clan. Ah, yes, the Rockpick clan. No real worries about those goblins, friend. They aren't coming up from the basement anytime soon, and we have things well handled.
That's a shame. I heard there was some coin to be made.
The warden isn't so low as to hire some elves and a human to do a dwarf's work.
He's not low. I thought he was a dwarf.
Say something back like, see, notice my charges. Having to chaperone them around.
I do have two eyes. Unfortunately, though, they wouldn't be the only non-dwarven kind around here.
Oh.
That was going to be my next thing. Well, if you got your Lord Kern or whoever Kerr's Sir General whatever, if he's got his men taking care of it, what are all the humans doing around for?
Some people settle into the mountain don't like living out. Don't like living outside, or the inn is too crowded for their lot. And there's some people that do other services to enjoy our hospitality.
Other services?
Might those other services be profitable?
Well, it's not the kind that adventurers do. Lots of them are merchant types or the strange wizards that we have on the top floor.
Ooh, strange wizards. I could help with that.
Wizard, you say? What kind of wizard?
Hell if I know. I just know they got some deal where they help make alchemist fire and some fiery potions to help ward off any goblin invaders that come from down below.
Interesting. So what's got these rock pickers, I believe you said? What's got them all riled up?
Well, it seems they don't take a liking to having dwarves around and what they consider their land. Underneath the keep is what was a pass to one of our holds, Dern Perez. But the way has been mainly collapsed right now. It appears that tunnel is far too close to a goblin hovel of some sort. And the numbers are too many for us to just go in and exterminate, so we've kind of left them there. And it seems they don't have the equipment to come up and try and invade the keep itself.
Still, to lose a whole hold to the goblins.
They lost the weight. They didn't lose the hole. They lost the weight to it. The road, yeah.
Well, if you don't have any way to enter, it's basically lost, right?
Well, presumably there would be other ways in. It's just that particular road is closed. The bridge washed out.
Well, in any case, you're a geology expert. You can help them out, right? We should inquire with the warden about this. I'm sure he'll be interested in hearing the proposal.
Would it be possible for us to at least offer the warden our services?
One of the guards grumbles for a bit. Not exactly warding people away these days, are we? You can go on in ahead, I guess.
Thank you, good sir. May your ancestors smile proudly upon you.
I'll see that they do. Best of luck to you adventuring types, even the pointy-eared ones.
Much appreciated.
Alright, and this guy opens up the side of the door closest to him, and it allows you to pass through. You can see where your characters are, right?
Yes, we can.
Yep.
Although I had to zoom out the map to do so. Can I roll perception to try and keep my nose open for air smelling like flowers, or whatever it was we heard in the tavern?
Yep.
Don't do it. You'll be suckered in by our allure.
It's a witch mark, and besides, I have enough willpower to not get suckered in by John himself.
Well,
You have enough willpower to not be instantly consumed by John himself.
yes, exactly.
Well, it's literally man against God. I'm pretty sure I'm fine against one woman.
Right.
And besides, there's already a woman waiting for me back in Freeport.
The mayor?
Obviously.
Right.
Look, John.
Aim for the stars and aim for the moon, and if you miss, you land among the stars or something.
Basically.
Exactly.
Varian's got high ambitions, even if he'll never fulfill them.
Yes, high ambitions, but he still can't talk to an innkeep to inquire about dinner.
Well, it's
Food
not a
was
woman.
not. Food was not one of the ambitions.
All right, so the way here is open to you. But
Scoggin is waiting for Sid to go through first.
what do you think? There's
Probably-
like a ambush waiting for you. They're just gonna fill you with
it's a good idea.
quarrels.
It's a good idea to just lead with a dwarf in a dwarven society.
I can agree with this.
Yeah. Dwarf ladies first. And as to your perception variant, you taste the air and look around the courtyard. There is the very faint smell of lingering in the air of honeysuckle.
Sid, you'd know better than me. Does honeysuckle grow in these areas?
I'm just gonna look at you like, did you really just frickin' ask me that? And be like, no, it does not.
There's fuckery afoot.
Well, that is what we came here looking for.
Or fuckery.
Well, lead the way.
Nice hall filled with shrines to the ancestors, yes.
Yep, great pillars holding up this stone keep together. To the right, there's a rowdy hall. It seems like there's been an inn that was repurposed out of a barracks of some kind, so that the human folk can walk around and enjoy themselves. Right now, though, there's only like one human warrior just standing next to an inn room. It seems that he's just keeping watch over the door, and one off-duty guard is sitting here while an innkeep is doing inventory in the back. Here, this room that I'm revealing, you can see it's like a storeroom where there's a merchant just laying out goods to sell to passers-by through this place. So business, of course, is low considering that this is no average place for foot traffic. And of course, there's this hallway down here.
You okay there, Bird?
Sorry?
You cut out.
How much did I cut out? What was the last thing I said?
I believe the last thing you said was talking about how this isn't a highly trafficked area.
Oh, and so he's not really selling much of his wares, and there is a hallway down here. You cannot exactly tell where it leads because there's not much signage around. This is, of course, a keep first, and a settlement, it seems, second. I don't have the tokens all here, but there's a few other people in this room as well. Just sitting about talking over tables and whatnot. Just having their morning of enjoyment before going out and doing whatever labors for the day.
They really need to signpost this place.
Or would they?
Because people live here now, apparently.
I'll be right back 1 second.
Perhaps down this hallway is where the warden is, Scotland suggests.
What, this hallway?
Alright, I've returned. Alright, so peering down this hallway, you see a set of stairs that lead upwards. A single stairway that splits in two, no, it's a set of two stairs that combines into one going upstairs.
Where did they say the warden's office was? I don't think they did.
You didn't inquire.
They didn't say where the warden's office is. They said the wizards were upstairs.
The wizards
Perhaps
were
we should
upstairs and the goblins were below the basement.
Perhaps we should go back to the that repurposed barracks room and ask where the warden is. We don't want to run into the wizards on their terms. Like we kind of want to get the lay of the land around here first before we do anything. We don't know if they're on the next level or a level higher or how high up this goes yet.
Probably a good idea to ask for directions in any case.
Alright, so you go into the repurposed barracks, and you who are you going to? The dwarf worker in the storeroom that is taking the job of an innkeeper, or the off-duty guard, or who?
I suppose we should ask the innkeeper if the guard's off duty.
Well, he has his helmet off and he's drinking beer, so...
Best not to disturb people who are resting. Let sleeping dwarves lie and all that.
So disturb the guy that's working.
Exactly. Well, he's not
Disturb the
sleeping.
guy whose job it is to be disturbed.
I didn't see any prostitutes in here.
What do you mean Skagen just walked in?
Y'all motherfuckers.
It's not just Sid that Skagen gets it from, okay. Alright,
Well, you set up such a low-hanging joke. I mean, man's gotta take it.
alright, so you're just gonna say, hey, you. To the innkeeper?
I Hail, innkeeper. We're a tad bit lost. We're looking for the office of the warden.
The dwarf finishes finishes picking up a crate, and then he just sighs and sets it down as you addressed him. Says, now why would you want to know where Magnus is?
Well, we believe he has work for us.
Did he put out a request of some kind to an adventurers guild? Pointier?
My ears are sufficiently round, I'll have you know. And besides, we were let in at the gate with the intention of finding the warden. They just forgot to mention where he was.
Or you forgot to ask. Ugh, fuck. He's at the top level, the 4th.
4th floor. Thank you so very much.
Fine. Enjoy yourselves.
Well, top floor it is. I'm sure that just peeking into the wizard floor can't hurt, though, right?
Thought they were on the top floor of the wizards.
I thought the wizards were like 2nd floor, right? Or 3rd floor.
We just heard that they were on the highest level of the keep. They didn't specify a floor.
Well, I suppose they're on the same floor as the warden then.
Yes.
That's going to be a tad bit awkward, but whatever. Let's head out.
Hopefully, we won't be recognized.
Well, we're assuming they're the same people too.
It's very possible that they're just random other wizards.
Yeah.
But I doubt it.
How many
That,
random
the warden
wizards
could be
do you
running a
know?
drug operation out of here or something for all we know.
Listen, if he's running a drug operation, I wouldn't mind helping.
You mean John wouldn't mind helping?
Look, John does not have to be involved in drug dealing.
Doesn't have to be.
I mean, if he wishes to be, I'm not gonna stop him.
Alright, climbing up the stairway, talking amongst yourselves, you reach the 2nd level of the keep. Off to your immediate left, you hear some human types rowdily talking in common in a room to your immediate left. Looking that direction, once you get up the stairwell, it seems like a group of adventurers has taken advantage of emptied out storeroom and have turned this room into like some gambling hall. Judging by the equipment, these people are adventurers of some sort. As you see a robed man with a gnarled staff sitting down at a table with a leather-clad human with a short bow and this odd sight of a elf, very lightly equipped, but you can tell that he has significantly trained muscled physique.
Elven monk, you don't see that every day. Well, let's we're supposed to be going towards the upper floor, but might as well snoop around a little, right?
All right. By what nature are you snooping around?
Oh, just looking around the rooms, seeing what there is to be seen.
All right. From here, you pass by this door here, and it sounds like you hear the sound of water boiling, vegetables being chopped, and someone moving around, bringing supplies here or there. By the ambience, you can tell it's some sort of kitchen within that area. And the other rooms down south seem to be, or down south, down to the left. They seem to be residents for other occupants of the keep.
Living quarters of some variety.
Yep.
Oh, nothing interesting catches our eye as far as I've been able to tell.
Okay.
Although that kitchen does sound mighty interesting. Varian hasn't eaten since last night.
Judging by his activities of last night, he hasn't eaten last night.
Varian peers into the kitchen.
Okay, you see a human man and a human woman working about, doing their daily preparations for feeding the guards of this place, as well as feeding the adventurers and the wanderers that come into Korinne's keep on the, well, you can only guess, monthly basis.
Does any of the food look ready to eat, or are they still making all of it?
There seems to be like some sort of cream stew or gruel. It's difficult to tell without getting real close. That's boiling on the stove.
What would the will save be to attempt to resist going after the soup?
It's not a will save, it's a combat maneuver against Castor pulling you towards the stairs to level 3. Let's go!
You had your opportunity to order something last night. You refused to do it because you're an autist.
Roll the CMB. I want to see if you can actually pull me. No, you cannot. The
Bro's just a little too slippery.
The allure of this soup is too much.
God, you're able to resist, but not fucking soup.
Listen, I'm a priest. I have God every day of my life. I haven't had soup since yesterday.
You didn't even have soup yesterday.
Exactly.
The portly man within regards Sprite with some derision. Who do you think you are? You think you're just because you're some adventurer, you're allowed to wander in wherever you want? Get out and go order from the innkeep your own food.
But the soup looks so good. I'm sure I can have a little, right?
He raises his cutting knife in your direction and says, "Piss off."
Have you heard the good word of John? Perhaps I can teach you a new religion in exchange for soup.
He just
Let's
motions.
go.
God damn it! Fine,
Just
fine.
follows
Let's
on
go.
it.
Let's go.
Alright. Alright, so you move up a floor. Oops. Here it seems to be mostly bare of common traffic, being either human or dwarves. Here you'd only see dwarven guards standing about, holding places in the hall, standing watch for something. Possibly just maintaining their posts.
Well, considering I can't have soup, let's go find the next set of stairs.
Can't have soup. Might as well go on adventure.
Listen, it's hard to be an adventurer on an empty stomach.
Alright,
In fact, Varian's just gonna nibble on a ration while he's walking.
alright, so walking around with your hardtack in hand, you round a couple corners, wondering about. One of the guards here at the end of this hallway steps forward and regards. What are you doing up here?
We're headed towards the office of the warden. We have permission from the front gate.
And the guard looks a little reticent to let you pass. He sees the other guard in this room and says after a brief pause, fine, go on ahead. I like how you've abandoned the idea of having the dwarf lead the way.
Well, the dwarf was moving too slowly.
Well, yeah, short legs.
And the dwarf wasn't interested in soup either.
The soup is what motivated you to take the lead.
Well, someone's got to do it. Also, which way? Is it over here or over here? I can't exactly see down the hallway.
Stairway there.
Take the lead, dwarf.
Alright, you find your way up to, actually, no, wait. The dwarf says, as you start passing towards the stairway, says, no, wait a minute, my friend is mistaken. If you're here to see the warden, you come down this hallway. He says, pointing down that way.
I'm gonna turn around and look into the other dude. Say, in Dwarvish, like, are you serious? Are we really doing this?
he on his behalf says, for a moment I thought you were with the humans up on the fourth. You don't look like you're from around these parts.
We are not. But we were also told that the warden was on the 4th floor.
He doesn't move between the floors that often. Rarely does he go down to the bastion on the bottom floor. He's in here checking on some things in this library.
Is he bullshitting me?
No. No, he is not.
Alright, I'll just shrug and say thanks then.
The dwarf had a long shift. That's what your sense motive says. Is he's had a day.
Come on, man. Night shift's not that bad.
It's the fact they had a day shift the day before.
Having a night shift directly into a day shift.
Yep.
I know how that feels. I don't like it.
All right, so you knocked onto the dwarf, the door, and you hear a gruff voice say, "Enter." Within, you see a dwarf dressed in full plate, sans the helmet, sitting at a desk, looking over an abundant pile of papers. Here.
He's wearing full plate and he's reading.
Yes.
Does he not like having a spine?
He's not.
I'm gonna go put my plate mail on and sit here so we can play this game. I mean, it's like, are we assuming this is Fantasyland where armor is comfortable and you just wear it all the time?
Well, it is a keep. He's not just gonna be sitting around.
Yeah, but it's his keep. He's the lord. Unless it's under siege, I would think he would be.
There's goblins on the bottom level that they're just holding off. They're not actively attacking them, but they're not at
Okay,
zero
so we're
readiness.
considering that the keep is in a state of alert.
Yes.
Okay, that's fair.
He says,
Pretty
and
sure it's been
who are you
alert for
lot?
let us in.
Well, they're at alert from the bottom level. They're not alert from just humans. Well,
Greetings. Whatever what would be the appropriate title for a lord of the hold? It'd be more than just sir.
he's just warden.
Greetings, warden.
He says, I didn't ask for you. He says, looking up from his research.
I'm sorry to trouble you, but unfortunately I'm having to chaperone some people who would like to ask you a few questions.
And what questions would these be? He says, looking over to the tall folk.
Well, we heard you were having problems with goblins in your lower levels, and we heard that you barely have the manpower to stall them, let alone push them back.
Well, you heard incorrectly. We have the power to keep the peace. We have the armor. We have the weapons to do so.
If you were confident, you wouldn't be wearing your full plate.
Where are you from? The desert? Do you confidently strut about the streets of Freeport without a hand on your pocket and a sword at your belt?
But that's because I'm not confident when I'm walking the streets of Freeport. But this is a man's home, a man's fortress. To be on guard at all times within it is it portrays a certain lack of certainty in your own manpower.
It is my hold, and I have the discipline and duty to keep it. If there's trouble, I must be at the ready to run down to aid its defense. I assume you didn't come all this way to insult a man in his own keep. He says, announcing himself or announcing in a voice that the guard outside can hear.
But of course, my dwarven friend here, she's a master of geomancy. She could help clear up the goblin issue and fix up the rubble collapse without much issue.
Well, that sounds mighty fine of you to volunteer to do, he says, peering in the direction of Sid. But considering that you're adventuring types, you're wanting a reward, and such a reward of coin is not within my possibility of providing you. What I have is the supplies to keep the provisions of the fort and little more. I already made deals with others to allow them to inhabit this place to aid in its defense. And I don't suppose that you're willing to take up such similar offers.
Others?
Yes, some wizards that are estranged from your human civilization decided to settle in High Pass. I've decided it would be best to allow them to practice their magics to aid in the common defense of a great enemy. In the meantime, have you a problem with this?
Well, it's just that. Have you not heard the stories from Freeport?
I don't listen to a great many things that come from Freeport.
Why? It's all these spellcasters. They've been going rather rogue recently. Why, one even attacked the Lord Mayor's palace with with an avatar of what was the thing's name?
Enenril.
Venenril or something like that. And I'm sure you wouldn't want that in your hold.
And I'm certain that the gold head has done nothing to earn someone's envy in such a way.
Enmity or not, innocent people died.
Yes, but they were not my innocent people. In my hold, they have been contributing well to the defense of this place.
Why, I'm sure they would love to defend their new fortress once all the undesirables are gone.
And you believe these people to be of some grand threat to me?
They've already demonstrated their threat against other cities, not caring for the lives of innocents. Even if you yourself aren't hurt, think of your subjects.
Hold
Surely
on.
the Lord.
Let me interject out of character here for a minute. Weren't last week? Weren't you saying to me, "Oh, you shouldn't have let on that that we were sent on the business of the Lord Mayor."
Well, I never mentioned the Lord Mayor paying us to do this. We're just adventurers, here to make a profit.
That wanted to kill some goblins and have moral compunctions about other people that inhabit the keep that they've totally heard about before traveling to here, that they had a goblin problem.
Exactly.
Flawed logic aside.
Flawed logic aside, surely you as a lord must care about the lives of your subjects at the very least. And as a dwarf, I'm sure you're no friend of magic.
He looks from Varian and his pointy-eared head over to Sid, and he asks, I expect you to have some modicum of honor. Are these persons inhabiting my keep intent upon bringing it down?
In Dwarvish, and all, be like, in all honesty, we're still trying to. We don't know if they're. Basically, that's what we're trying to find out. It seems rather peculiar that there's two groups of magic users hiding up in this same general area, though not impossible.
He says, then I bid you to have a fair conversation with them. I do believe they've been recluses up to this point and have been fairly well keeping to themselves if they don't mingle down with travelers on the first or the second levels. They partake the kitchens and pay what they earn. I expect you to treat them with the same respect you would any citizen of your free port.
But of course.
He says, they're on the 4th level, and tell me how your investigations go.
We shall keep you informed.
You can move up the stairs to the 4th level here.
I'll be right back. Gotta go to the bathroom.
Okay. I guess I'll put us on standby for a minute. thanks everyone for showing up. It's short notice, but we're calling the session for today.